So we received an email from someone. So we received an email from someone who is French, but lives in Poland, and he was interested in translating some of our BBC talks into French because he feels like he has benefited so much from the Dharma, and he wants to pay it forward by helping other people learn about the Dharma. And in his email, he was saying how important he finds it to apply mindfulness to his life and to stop the mind that is proliferating in all sorts of thoughts and worries and ruminations and so forth. Because he said he finds that he has this habit, I'm sure many of you will identify, of wanting to get many things done during the day and having a mental list and expecting himself to be able to do all of those things, and at the end of the day not having them all done, and then feeling disappointed, feeling discouraged, getting angry at himself. Anybody else here do that? Yes? So he's realizing how his mind is setting himself up by having these unrealistic expectations, And so he's finding that when he wakes up in the morning, immediately trying to put himself into the present moment with what is happening now, instead of into all this flurry of, I'm going to do this and that and have it all done by 5 o'clock. Okay? And so along with this kind of awareness of our false expectations and our going into the past and especially going into the future, I think here is where cultivating our motivation every morning when we first wake up is so important. Okay? So really thinking, today what's very important is not checking off everything on my list, but the most important thing is not to harm anybody. Yeah. And a next most important thing is to benefit everybody. And the third most important thing is to keep our bodhicitta motivation in our hearts and really live from that space throughout our entire life. Yeah. And so that's why I always emphasize this thing of generating the motivation when we first wake up. And I find when I do that, and then I think of kind of what I'm going to do during the day, then I can think of, okay, how can I bring compassion to the things that I'm going to be doing during the day? Or how is my mind likely to get, influenced by anger or competitiveness or jealousy during the day? And right away in the morning, set a determination of, no, I'm not going to let my mind go there, because it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to have resentment or jealousy or competition. And so in that way, kind of to prepare my mind for the kinds of situations that I might encounter in the day. Because when we wake up in the morning, we may have some idea of who we're going to meet and what kind of things we're going to be discussing and negotiating and so on. And so to really apply our general motivation of not to harm, to benefit, and to hold bodhicitta, apply that to specific things, really setting that intention in the morning, and then keeping it going during the day. Yeah. And then in the evening, being satisfied with what we've done. Yeah. Now, if we spent a great deal of time during that day just chit-chatting and joking around and wasting time, then at the end of the day, if we haven't, accomplished much, we have to look and say, well, why is that? It's because I made a choice of how to use my time that was not in accord with my values. I let my mind get taken away by attachment just to having a good time and chatting, instead of, to really fulfilling the things that I have in my heart. you know. On the other hand, if we spent our time wisely, even if things didn't get finished, we still can feel very fulfilled and satisfied at the end of the day, simply because we used our time in a productive way. Yeah, in a way that accords with what we really want to do in our hearts.